call this meeting to order. Roll call, please, Mr. Karati.
Mr. Raccomando?
Present.
Ms. Borelli?
Present.
Mr. Aricello?
Present.
Ms. Iannello?
Present.
Ms. Torvik?
Present.
Ms. Traverso?
Here.
All right, call the other ones. Ms. Zottarelli? Mr. DeBello? Ms. Roloff.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. Okay, we're going to start off with the student representative reports. Do we
They
have
don't.
any?
They do
Nope.
not. I told them that they don't have to for tonight.
Okay, all right. We just, do you want to welcome?
So I'm receiving some feedback. I would, for the superintendent updates, I just want to welcome back. We have two Board of Ed student representatives. We have Mia, who is returning to us, and Alexia, who is starting her year one with us. So we welcome you both to our Board of Education. We hope it is a very fruitful experience for you both. I also want to take a moment to extend gratitude towards our custodial maintenance staff. It's that time of the year. They are working extremely hard. The projects are still going on. Some of them hopefully are coming to an end this week, which does not leave a lot of time because our staff starts September 1. So I want to thank our custodial maintenance crew for all their hard work and our new HVAC person as well. I should group him in there too. Because it's been a little bit stressful and they're really been great. I also want to welcome our staff. They are coming back September 1st. We had our new teacher orientation today. Thank you to the SBEF for donating t-shirts for our new staff. They got very excited. Falcon t-shirts, they came out amazing. And we have, so today was with all the administrators, then they have tomorrow morning, and tomorrow afternoon is the bus tour. So they do a community bus tour with all our new staff. They visit every building, and they point out some hot spots around town, spots to eat lunch, and things like that. Also, thank you to the SBEA and the SBEF for providing breakfast to our new staff, one each morning. We really appreciate all the support. Our Athletic Hall of Fame is moving right along. Our inductees are going to be honored at the football game on October 2nd, and the Hall of Fame dinner is October 3rd. The deadline is coming up to purchase your tickets, so if you want to attend, please go on the website to purchase your ticket. Our first football game is actually this Thursday, 6:00 p.m. at Butler. It is a change in time due to the supposed rain that we were supposed to be getting. So they did move it up to 6:00. It is away at Butler High School. Our first home game is 9/11. Sadly, that's also my husband's birthday, and he made plans, so I will not be able to attend the home game. I don't like missing them. Our first home boys soccer game is September 1st at 4:00. So we hope that's the day that our staff comes, and hopefully they'll be able to stay and watch our first home boys soccer game. Also, the kindergarten play dates for all our incoming kindergartners, it's September 1st. It's at 5:30. It's the same time at each school building. So we have Smith School, Franklin School, and Long Memorial School. It's at 5:30. We're very excited to it's like the grand opening of our new K-6 playground. So each of our buildings did receive a new playground. So we're really excited to host this play date for them. And again, I extend an invitation to the board members. We spoke about this before. If they wish to attend and greet our incoming families, please just let me know.
Thank you for that report. Okay, Mr. Karati, your report?
Okay, like Ms. Violetti said, a lot of projects going on. The schools are looking great. The custodians are doing a great job in getting them all ready. Some projects you see outside, we replaced some concrete along the building on the back, along the side with the parking lot. We're replacing sections of the fencing along the parking lot. There's a few more improvements to the beginning part of the athletic field entrance. And in the high school here, we're renovating several rooms we're always tight on space, so we're creating a storage room for a lot of the music and band stuff that you usually see sometimes in the hallway or on the stage. And we're moving a couple other offices around. We created a middle school office so the middle school administrative assistant could be with her instead of down here on the first floor. We renovated the media center, gave it a new paint and a new floor, and rearranged a lot of the furniture in there, so that's looking great. Food service had the kitchen refrigerator redone and an office space in there to give them a little bit more room. The gym floors are redone and some exterior lighting, not only this school, but also the other schools as well. We continued our tile abatement projects in all the schools. We renovated some bathrooms at Long School and Washington, and we redid the lower level at Smith School. There's made into a conference room and redid the hallway down there. So a lot of stuff was going on. A few of the products are just, going down to the wire. We should get buttoned up this end of this week and move forward and welcome the students and staff next week. Any questions on the projects? And again, like I said before to the board, try to arrange a time to take you guys around, do a little bus tour, and go around to the buildings and check everything out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Karati. Does anybody have a question for Mr. Karati? Okay. All right. I'm going to open up the meeting to public comment for the agenda items only. So that's only what's in the agenda at this time. Would anyone like to speak for agenda items only? Okay. All right. I'm going to ask then for a motion to close. Okay. All right. Board action items. Let's B227.1 through B2627.10.
Motion.
I reviewed many of these, sorry about that. I reviewed these at our caucus meeting, but essentially I'll just do a quick recap that these are all mandates. We did scratch off, we're taking out .5 and .6. Our Board of Education, we had a meeting earlier today. We didn't have time to finish the goals and we didn't want to rush them, so we will have those both on September's agenda. Everything else is mandated to have by the state of New Jersey.
Any discussion? No? Okay. Roll call, please.
Yeah. Let's go with Ms. Torbeck first.
Okay, yes to all except B2627.1, number 4. I'm abstaining. I was not at that meeting.
Okay. Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Ms. Raccomando?
Yes.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Riccello?
Yes.
And Ms. Ianello?
Yes. Okay. Education and curriculum, Ms. Borelli?
Okay, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. E2627.1 all the way to E2627.18.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Does anyone have any discussion or questions?
I will share the code of conducts have to be approved and the curricula, that's a mandate. We have Marble Health is a new thing. That is a company that we are going to partner with for mental health. They provide counseling services to our students free of charge. They work with our families through our family's insurance. If the family does not have insurance, then they support the family in getting Medicaid for them. So that is going to be a new program. Other districts that we know of have had success using them, so we're going to have them for this coming school year. Then you'll see some curriculum. Some of it's new. Psychology curriculum. We're going to be offering psychology at the high school for the first time. There's a freshman seminar curriculum that's on there. And then our delayed openings at the middle school, high school for non-testing students only. It's only for, we lowered the number of days that we're doing delayed openings for, listening to feedback from our families that it was an inconvenience. So we do have PSAT testing that it will be delayed for non-testing students. The NJGPA, that's the graduate assessment that's mandated for our juniors to pass in order to graduate. It's a graduation requirement, so we are doing a delayed opening for that because we want our students to be able to really focus on that assessment. And then in the spring, we are just going to do 3 days, whereas last year I believe we did 5 or 6. So we're going to do 3 days this coming school year because with the new testing format, we realize that that's all we need.
Does anyone have any questions? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Torbic,
Yes.
Ms. Traverso,
Yes.
Mr. Accomando,
Yes.
Ms. Borelli,
Yes.
Mr. Uccello,
Yes.
Ms. Einello.
Yes. For Budget and Finance, Mr. Accomando?
Sure. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items: BF 2627.1 to BF 2627.21.
Can I have a second?
Second.
We reviewed each of these, but if you have any questions, please let us know.
Is there any discussion? Questions? Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. Torbic,
Yes.
Ms. Traverso,
Yes.
Mr. Accomando,
Yes, but in BF 2627.1, abstain from check number 69079.
Ms. Borelli,
Yes to all, but in BF 2627.1, I abstain from 69168, check number.
Mr. Uccello,
Yes.
Ms. Einello.
Okay. In BF 2627.1, I'm going to abstain from check numbers 3954, 4225, 4527, and 4741. In item number BF 2627.6, I'm going to abstain from item numbers 145, number 2, and yes to everything else.
It's 145 and number 2?
145.
That was just the motion. Got it. Okay, that's everybody. 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay.
Okay,
Everything
we're good?
passes. Yep.
Okay. All right, so then now we're going to Facilities and Operations. Ms. Torbic?
Sure. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items: F 2627.1. Can I have a second? Second. Thank you.
Did we get a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Discussion.
Okay, do we have any discussion? Questions? No, good? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Torbic,
Yes.
Ms. Traverso,
Yes.
Mr. Accomando,
Yes.
Ms. Borelli,
Yes.
Mr. Uccello,
Yes.
Ms. Einello.
Yes. Okay, for policy. At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. POL 2627.1 through POL 2627.3.
Second.
Okay, so the first item is to suspend our bylaw because normally our policy reading needs 2 readings in order for it to go into effect. However, P5516 and Regulation 5516 is student use of internet-enabled devices. That's the New Jersey law, the bell-to-bell law that you might have heard of, where no internet-enabled device is to be on in the school building from the start of the school day until the end of the school day. And every district is charged with having that put into effect for September of 2026. So because our board meeting is not until later in September, we are going to suspend that bylaw just for this one time only for these 2 items. So that way we're in compliance and we're having that law in effect in our buildings from starting September of 2026. So essentially what that does mean is our K-6 buildings are the devices, and this is all internet-enabled devices, so it includes cell phones, smartwatches, smart glasses, AirPods, so anything that's connected to the internet or the Bluetooth, and it has to be turned off and in backpacks throughout the school day. So at the K-6 buildings, it's turned off and in the backpack. At our middle school, 7th and 8th grade, they're going to do what they've always done in the past, is they keep their phone on the top shelf of their locker. And then 9 to 12, it's to be turned off and inside a bag. So what that means is it cannot be in sight. That means it cannot be in their back pocket and they can't be holding it. It does have to be inside a bag. We will be sharing this with our families, again, in communication that comes from me, as well as with our students when we meet with them at the beginning of the year at the high school especially. They meet with each grade level and at the middle school, so we'll be sharing that. The rest of these are second readings and then first readings. The big change in those first readings, one is our grading regulation, and the change with that is to make our high school grades be numeric as opposed to letter grades, and this helps with our Genesis program and the gradebook program, and also in implementing our grading floor, which is essentially that students in marking periods 1, 2, and 3 should not get any grade below a 50%, because the thought process behind it is if a student gets in 13% in marking period 1, it's really difficult to recover from that. So we are putting that in our policy that they will have the grading floor, and then Genesis will automatically be able to implement that grading floor if you go to numeric grades. So that's the reason why we are moving to numerical grades at our high school level. And then visitors, the big change with that is going to be every building has our security vestibule now, and every building has a guest management system where every visitor does have to scan their state-issued ID. It does do a background check. Before you're able, you have to clear the background check before you're able to enter the building, and then get the visitor lanyard, and it outlines our procedures that each building has adopted. The other big change is visitors during the school day are only permitted to drop off non-essential items. So in the past, we have parents that would drop off homework, drop off water bottles, or drop off lunches, drop off homework, an instrument. So what the policy or the regulation now states is that visitors are able to drop off essential items such as medication, such as eyeglasses, and then other items with permission of the principal. So if your child forgot their instrument and it's rehearsal day, you just need permission from the principal to be able to drop it off. The reasoning behind that was we had so many interruptions during the school day. Parents are dropping off items throughout the entire school day, and it causes a lot of interruptions. So the main office has to call up to the classroom. The student has to walk down to the main office, walk back up. The teacher's interrupted, the student's interrupted. It's hard to get them to really focus. We do have a food service company that we partner with that every building does utilize. So if the child does not have lunch, if a student does not have lunch, they'll be able to choose an option from our food service program. What was happening with that was parents are dropping off food for their students, and a lot of times it'd be after the lunch period or towards the end of the lunch period, because we do 20 minutes eating, 20 minutes recess, and then they would be eating without their friends, or they would be eating a special lunch, like say from a fast food restaurant that the other students would all want a part of. So it caused a lot more distractions than we deem necessary, so a lot more interruptions. So that is going to be the change to that policy. It was already shared out with the community, but I will be sharing it out again, as well as the principals.
Any questions, discussion? Can we have roll call?
Ms. Torbic,
Yes.
Ms. Traverso,
Yes.
Mr. Accomando,
Yes.
Ms. Borelli,
Yes.
Mr. Riccello,
Yes.
and Ms. Ainello.
Yes. For negotiations, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. N2627.1, the final approval of the contract between the SBBOE and SBTAA.
Motion.
Second.
I think we have discussion on that, correct? No. Okay. Can we have roll call?
Ms. Torbic,
Yes.
Ms. Traverso,
Yes.
Mr. Accomando,
Yes.
Ms. Borelli,
Yes.
Mr. Riccello,
Yes.
Ms. Ainello.
Yes. For personnel, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. P2627.1 through, bear with me, P2627.19. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm not going to review them all. I already reviewed them with our board trustees. You can see all the appointments and how busy my staff has been. We are partnering again with Ramapo College for clinical interns, so we do have several clinical interns again this year. It's actually proven to be a great program for us. We've been hiring from that pool of candidates over the last couple of years, and they've been doing quite well. You'll also see this seeing if there's anything else that, our paras are now, we created 3 job descriptions, one for an instructional paraprofessional, one for an ABA paraprofessional, and one for a preschool paraprofessional. So when we're hiring our paras, we're aiming for retention because we've had a lot of movement in the past. So we want to make sure that the job description is clearly shared with them, that they know what the expectations are, and that we provide them with the proper training. That's it.
Thank you. Okay. Discussion, questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Torbic?
Yes.
Ms. Traverso?
Yes.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Mr. Riccello?
Yes.
Ms. Ianello?
In P2627.6, I'm going to abstain from item numbers 2, 5, 10, and 22. And I am going to abstain from P2627.4, both those item numbers, and yes to everything else.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have committee reports now. Budget and Finance, Mr. Accomando, do you have a,
Nothing on that, no.
okay. Facilities and Operations? Okay. Negotiations, we already stated. So for policy, I do have a report on that. Okay, the Policy Committee met on August 5th. We discussed the new policy for bell to bell. We also discussed another policy in regards to transportation by private vehicle. We abolished one of our policies because it was no longer being used, correct? Okay. Then we discussed homeschooling and athletics. We also discussed the cell phone policy for the staff members. Ms. Violetti discussed already how. Do you want to go on?
Yes, so that, when we were going through all our policies, we realized that we did not have one. So there's no change to that policy. We're actually just adopting it as a formality because we did have the support staff one, and we had every other staff member, but we couldn't find the actual staff member use, the 3322. We do need to have one, so it's the standard policy from Strauss Esme that matches, it aligns with our support staff as well. So you'll see that. And then we talked about the grading policy and the visitor policy during that meeting as well.
Okay. So those are the things that we discussed at that policy. Okay, let's do liaison reports. Mr. Accomando, do you have anything?
Yes, I'm sorry, we actually met tonight with our New Jersey School Board rep, and we went over, like Ms. Violetti said, our future goals, and we'll be meeting in the future about other opportunities to receive our certifications.
Thank you. Okay, then.
I actually have Ed Foundation.
Okay.
If you want me to-
You have for the
I have
foundation?
Ed Foundation. if you'd
Okay,
like me to do it.
perfect. Oh, you, okay, can you do that?
I
Thank
can.
you.
So the Saddlebrook Education Foundation will be having their annual walkathon on September 25th. Did I get that correct? Yes, thank you. Information flyers will be sent home the first week of school.
Okay, all right. There has been no, thank you very much, Mr. There has been no township meeting to discuss. Let's do PTOs. Do we have anything?
I can do long.
Okay, let's do Ms. Traverso.
Let me do a quick one here. Sorry, hold on. Okay. Long School's PTO will be having their first PTO meeting of the year on October 6th at 7 p.m. in the Long School cafeteria. Their upcoming events include the LMS kindergarten play date, which was already mentioned by Ms. Violetti, on September 1st at 5:30. The PTO will be giving the children ice pops at the end of that, but they will be there outside, usually on the playground, if I recall, meeting their classmates, their teachers, and then seeing their classroom. Back to school night at LMS is September 23rd. There will be a PTO table there for members to sign up for any events that they'd be interested in helping with. September 22nd through the 24th is their first book fair, the fall book fair of the year. The LMS Trunk or Treat will be held on Friday, October 16th, followed by Picture Day, October 19th. And then the sixth grade parents should be on the lookout for a sixth grade committee for the fundraisers of the LMS class of 2027. And they are looking forward to a wonderful school year. That's it.
Thank you for that report. Okay. Do we have any other reports? Okay. Not at this, okay. Do we have any correspondence? None. Okay. Do we have old business? New business?
I just want to share, so today started new staff orientation. This is Mrs. DeBonis' Super Bowl, we call it. I just wanted to share how organized she is. I'll share it with the staff, with the board trustees, but she puts together a whole new staff playbook, and it's actually outlined throughout the whole school year. So every month when she meets with the new teachers, or we actually alternate, we rotate through our admin team, our leadership team, and there's activities in here for them to complete. She makes it interactive, but she really did a fabulous job. She's having, she organized the whole bus tour, the community bus for tomorrow, so she's very excited. So thank you to her and her team for planning all of this. We actually had 2 teachers come today. They shared skills on classroom management. Mrs. Ionello came to represent the Board of Education. It was just a fabulous day, very well organized, and I just wanted to kind of throw a shout out to her.
Yeah. If I could piggyback off of that, it was very nice to be invited. Thank you very much. It was really nice to see all of the young faces, that everybody was so excited to be there. And it was very nice, but it was very well organized. And I also wanted to mention with the hallways in the custodians, a shout out to them, because the building looks fabulous. The floors look terrific. Everything looks very clean, very organized, and you could see everybody working very diligently today to make sure that everything was all set. So was very impressed by everything, very happy to see it, and I wish everyone a great school year for our staff coming in. Okay. Anyone else? New business? Okay. All right. Then can I have a motion to open the meeting for public comment? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. So does anybody from the community would like to speak? Okay. I just have to read something first, okay? All right. Residents are required to state their name, addresses, and subject matter. In the event it appears that the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by the participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by the members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that the members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of others, individuals, when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected and identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Okay, I just want to remind that, again, this is your opportunity to come and speak and share your thoughts, but it's not a back and forth dialogue. Okay, please come up.
Hello? Okay. Hi. Just like to say good evening, President of the Board, members of the Board of Education, Superintendent, and members of our community. I've presented to you a, can I take this off?
Yes, you could take it off, but we do need your name and address.
Hello, hello. Okay. My name is Alexandra Aria, and my address is 36 Rosedale Avenue, Saddlebrook.
Thank you.
I've given each of you a packet for review pertaining to the issue I'd like to speak about today. Also, there's a one-page back and front handout that kind of summarizes it a little bit. It's not the official one. That one is actually what accompanied the petition. That's Appendix K. So Appendix K, it's a lofty appendix. So I just made one copy of the appendix, multi-part, A through L, for the board to share. Appendix K is the petition. And so I will continue and kind of give you a little more information as to what I'm speaking about. So I'm here tonight because I believe Saddlebrook is a community that values its children, values its families, and believes that opportunity should be earned, not denied, before a child ever has the chance to try. Recently, I learned about one sentence in District Policy 2431, the district's athletic competition policy. It says, homeschool children are not eligible to participate in the high school interscholastic athletic program of this district. One sentence. But that one sentence has a very significant consequence. It tells every homeschooled high school student who lives in Saddlebrook that regardless of ability, dedication, character, athletic achievement, or commitment to this community, they cannot represent Saddlebrook in high school interscholastic athletics. Not because they failed an eligibility requirement, not because they violated a rule, not because they weren't good enough to make a team, simply because they're homeschooled. And I respectfully ask this board to consider whether that is the policy that we want for Saddlebrook. I chose to homeschool my children, but homeschooling has never meant separating ourselves from Saddlebrook. Quite the opposite. 4 out of 5 of my children participate in Saddlebrook recreation sports. They have spent years wearing Saddlebrook uniforms, practicing on Saddlebrook fields, learning from Saddlebrook coaches, competing alongside Saddlebrook children, building friendships with Saddlebrook families. Through dedication and hard work, they have also competed successfully beyond our local community, state, regional, and national level competition while wearing their Saddlebrook uniform and colors. I don't tell you that because I believe that athletic success should earn any special treatment. It shouldn't. I'm telling you this because these children are already part of this community. They live here, they play here, they practice here, they compete here, they make friends here, and they contribute here. And yet when a homeschool child reaches high school, this policy tells the child that there is one thing they can never do: represent the town that they call home. That is the part of this policy that I'm asking you to reconsider. And I want to be very clear about what I'm asking for. I'm not asking the board to guarantee a roster spot. I'm not asking you to lower standards. I'm not asking for an exemption from New Jersey State Interscholastic Athletic Association requirements. I am not asking for an exemption from physical examinations, age requirements, code of conduct, or any other legitimate eligibility requirement. If there are reasonable requirements, we are willing to meet them. What we are asking for is the opportunity to meet them. There is enormous difference between saying you must meet these requirements before you can participate and saying you can never participate because you are homeschooled. The first evaluates the student. The second evaluates the educational method. And that distinction is at the heart of why I'm asking the full board to look at this policy. I've tried to approach this issue through the district's established process. I submitted a petition asking that policy 2431 be reconsidered. The board policy committee met and considered my request. I was informed that the committee determined that the current policy would remain unchanged at the time. I then sought clarification regarding that determination and whether the matter could be considered by the full board. I was advised that the policy committee is a subcommittee of the board and that I would have an opportunity to address the board during public comment tonight. So that's why I'm here tonight. I respect the committee's consideration, but I am asking that the full board hear the issue, review the information that I've provided, and consider the policy for itself. I've come here with facts rather than assumptions, and as I researched policy 2431, I found something particularly important. New Jersey does not require districts to prohibit homeschool students from participating in athletics. I'll repeat that. New Jersey does not require districts to prohibit homeschool students from participating in athletics. In fact, the New Jersey Department of Education says that local boards may permit such participation. And the NJSIAA has frameworks specifically addressing homeschool athletic eligibility when a local board permits it. That framework addresses residency, academic eligibility, physical requirements, NJSIAA requirements, and other safeguards. So Saddlebrook doesn't have to choose between no rules and no homeschool athletes. There is another option: eligibility under rules. I repeat, eligibility under rules. I also found that other New Jersey districts have adopted conditional approaches to homeschool athletic participation. That raises a straightforward policy question. Why should Saddlebrook continue to use categorical exclusion when a conditional eligibility model is available? I'm not asking you to assume the answer, I'm asking you to examine it. I've prepared information for each board member because I don't expect you to take my word for any of this. I want you to have the policy. I want you to have the state guidance. I want you to have the NJSIAA framework. I want you to have examples from other New Jersey districts. I want you to have the correspondence. I want you to have the community petition. There are more than 700 signatures supporting reconsideration, including more than 200 Saddlebrook residents. But that alone does not decide the issue. It does demonstrate that this question matters to people in this community. And I want to emphasize that this isn't just about my family. It's about every current and future Saddlebrook family that may choose home education while continuing to live here, work here, volunteer here, coach here, participate in recreation here, and raise their children here. Policies should protect fairness. They should uphold standards. They should protect the integrity of our athletic programs. But they should also reflect the community we want to be. And I believe that there's a way to do all those things without automatically excluding an entire category of resident children. A homeschooled student could be required to satisfy every legitimate eligibility requirement. They could still be required to undergo the appropriate physical examination, still be subject to all applicable NJSIAA rules, still be subject to the district's code of conduct and team expectations, and ultimately, they would still have to earn a place on the team. Nothing about asking for eligibility changes that. It simply means that the student gets the opportunity to try. So tonight, I am respectfully asking the full Board of Education to take up Policy 2431 for formal review. I ask that the board examine the historical basis for the homeschool provision, review the current state and NJSIAA framework, consider the policy models already used by other New Jersey districts, and determine whether a reasonable conditional eligibility policy would better serve Saddlebrook. I'm not asking you to make the entire policy decision tonight. I'm asking you to hear the issue, examine the evidence, and give the policy the consideration it deserves. Because I believe a policy that says never should have a very good reason. And if a child lives in this town, contributes to this community, follows the rules, satisfies the requirements, and works hard enough to earn a place on a team, I believe that child should at least have the opportunity to try. A policy should not close the door before a child ever has the chance to knock. Thank you for your time, your service to our community, and your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to speak?
Hi, everybody. My name is Vanessa Argueta. I live at 414 Christie Terrace, and I would like to just say something very brief regarding the same issue. I'm here to support the same issue. My husband and I were fortunate enough to take over the Saddlebrook Junior Track Program 5 years ago. So I wanted to be here. Unfortunately, my husband could not be here tonight, but I just wanted to say something briefly regarding the same issue. I wanted to just say quickly what an amazing family the REF family is, and how lucky we are to have been able to work with them over the last couple years. And I know that she was very prepared in having all this information today, and I'm blown away by how prepared she is with all the information. But Louis and I have been very fortunate enough to be able to work with this family over the last few years. And what an incredible athlete Anais is. She comes prepared. She has been pushing herself over the last couple years. She's made it to states, and to see this athlete, she is just so incredible. And any program would be so lucky to have her. And obviously, it's not because she's going to excel that we want to have her, but just to see her out there pushing other kids. And, you know, she has younger siblings that are watching her that are going to be just like her, and she takes care of them, and she pushes them. And, you know, our program, one of the things that Louis and I are most proud of is that our program is, we help students and children of Saddlebrook and from surrounding towns who are of all different skill levels. We help kids who maybe have a hard time finding their place. And, you know, I didn't know anything about track before we came to Saddlebrook and took over the track program. My son fell in love with track, and the program almost fell apart, and there was nobody to run it. And we basically took over this program and had to learn it from the ground up. And one of the things that we fell in love with is that people come to track and say, I don't want to run, and that's okay. We have people who throw, we have people who jump, we have people who run fast, we have people who run distance, and there is something for everybody in our program. And we have people who have special needs. We have people who just have not found their place, who come to us and who say, my son, my daughter has found their place. And it is such a wonderful community. And to have students who come and to find their place with us, that is an honor. And to have a family come who we would not have known is such an honor. And we love what we do. And it takes a whole season. You know, it's a lot of work, but we continue to do it because we truly love what we do. And, you know, I just ask that this is really taken into consideration, because I would hate for their journey to end because 8th grade is ended and that is the end of it. That would really be so hard to be able, such a hard pill to swallow, because they are such an exceptional family. And I know there's going to be other families that we work with that I would hate to say, well, hey guys, you got to find another town because our town just won't consider it. So I ask you to really consider it if you can. And I thank you for your time, truly.
Hi, everybody. I'm Elisa Quintelis, 86 Bell Avenue. Imagine running out of avocados. I ran to the supermarket really quick, and this is the story that I was approached with. And it's heartbreaking as a parent, as somebody who's involved in the community, in the schools, and I know how hard our students work, our athletes work, our teachers work, and I could see that this child works hard. Now, I understand that there's a lot of red tape or whatnot, but the NJSIAA does have regulations. If she follows the regulations, or any student who's interested in following regulations, and there are towns such as Wayne who does have set a precedent because they do allow their homeschooled kids to participate. I just think that it's worth taking a moment to looking into seeing how we could have that kind of an inclusion here. I mean, she's very well prepared. I do understand also, though, from the parents and the students that do come to the public schools, and just representing some of the parents that got together and we discussed this, there is the question of attendance, right? Because we are a zero tolerance district on attendance now, and we are moving forward and setting our own, you know, precedent on how schools could actually perform with better attendance, and I'm proud of that. And of course, being homeschooled, I could understand how, you know, your parents going to sign the attendance. So maybe there could be some kind of independent regulating team or something, I don't know. But if Wayne could do it, I don't see why we can't try. Not saying that we're going to do it, but we should at least try, especially for the fact that we could have students that are placing in states that are working so hard, and we're just shutting the doors instantly once they get into the high school. There's got to be something off about that, because we've all heard stories about rules bending. I'm not saying Brook, but rules in general bending for athletes, especially when you want to get athletes to come to your school. So I just think it'd be good for us to just take a second, don't say no right away, just talk it over, figure something out, and just give it a chance. And also, I would like to add, if I may, I think that we should have one voice, preferably the superintendent, so that it remains as one consistent voice giving. That's the best thing that has happened since you've been. I would love to just ask that it's one voice, your voice preferably. Just giving the information out to the people, to the parents, because if there's anything I appreciate since you've become superintendent, is that consistency, and you're thorough, you check everything, you double check everything, you triple check everything, and it's nice to be able to have to know that we heard it from one place versus different board members or just admins, you know, giving out the information. All right, thanks.
Good evening, President and members of the board. My name is Anais Aria, and I'm a freshman in Saddlebrook. I am here tonight because I believe Policy 2431 should be revisited. Not simply because I want to play high school sports, but because I believe students should be judged by their eligibility, not just excluded because of how they are educated. I've been part of Saddlebrook's athletic community for the past 8 years. I've trained and competed alongside other Saddlebrook students and represented this town proudly. After a successful track and field season this spring, I was really excited to continue by participating in cross country this fall. Instead, I was told I could no longer participate because I was homeschooled. That was really hard for me to understand because I've spent years being part of this community, and suddenly, because I entered high school through a different educational path, I was told that I was no longer eligible. I also want you to know that I didn't leave this issue up to my mom. For 3 days, I went out with her and my 4 younger siblings to Saddle River Park, Acme Market, and our local library. We spoke to people in our community and asked them to sign a petition asking this board to reconsider the policy. More than 700 people signed it, including approximately 200 Saddlebrook residents. What struck me most was how many people understood the basic principle that being educated differently should not automatically mean being excluded. There is a phrase we learn from history, separate but equal. Brown versus Board of Education taught our country to question systems that categorize people and deny them equal opportunity based on a classification rather than their individual circumstances. I'm not saying my situation is the same as the injustice addressed in Brown. What I'm saying is that the principle of looking at people as individuals rather than making assumptions based on category matters. I'm not asking this board to make an exception just for me. I'm asking you to create a fair eligibility process, one with objective standards that homeschool students can meet, just as students in other New Jersey communities are permitted to do so. I have brought with you a packet with research, examples of policies from other districts, and a proposed framework for how Saddlebrook could do this responsibly. Please don't look at me and ask, should we let this one student play? Instead, look at the current policy and ask, is this categorical exclusion really necessary, or can we create a fair standard that protects our programs while giving eligible students an opportunity? I respectfully ask you to revisit Policy 2431. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to speak? All right. Yes? Oh, okay. Where's the mic?
Kelly Vacanti, 386 Dewey, Saddlebrook. I just have one thing to say. I don't know if she's interested in going on further after high school, but with college and things, I played at a college level, and I actually was scouted, so it actually helped. So I don't know if that's a positive or not, but I just wanted to bring that up. So I just think it would be unfortunate for her to be denied that because her family chose to homeschool her. So.
Did she say her name? Okay. Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Okay, thank you. Okay, can I have a motion to close the meeting for public comment?
Motion.
All right, and then can I have a motion to close the meeting in general, to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Okay. All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Okay. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.